but please let me share you my camera if you
Okay,
have.
feel free and take your time. Take your time.
Thank you, because I am not good at reading, so I'm going to speak to you about my subject. It is indirect methods of teaching. Indirect methods of teaching, and to handle this subject, we have first to talk about uh, direct methods of teaching, to make such a comparison between direct and indirect, and to know the difference. Okay. First of all, I want to show you this picture. I can make it larger. Okay. What you see here is a simple drawing for both direct and indirect teaching. Something happened to the picture. Okay, now is it clear?
Would you please make it larger, Mr. Ashraf, so that we can see it clearly, if you can?
Okay, I think the problem is with my computer.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
you have two drawings in front of you. The first one is teacher directed, and the second one is learner directed. So the method of teaching starts from the plot, from the classroom, from the sitting, or as we call it in our methodology, the seating, 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 from the shape of desks inside your classroom. So if you put your students in rows as traditional roles, as it's found in our schools, and let us to be authentic when we talk about our schools, when you put your students in lines, so it's really teacher centered. You cannot go on with your indirect teaching while your students in rows. Okay, they only see the backs of each others. The second one is learner directed, and this is only a model for learner directed teaching circle, or as you know, another kind is called horseshoe, or any kind you see, any seating you see, but in a way that makes your students communicate and see the faces of each others, and they are near to each others in a way that they can exchange papers and things. Okay, so the first one is directed, very direct teaching, and the second one, the teacher directed, or the teacher centered, as we call it in methodology, the teacher centered teaching, or the teacher centered class, and the other one is the student centered class.
Yeah, student centered.
Yes, okay. This is what I want to start with, the meaning of direct teaching and indirect teaching. Direct teaching, the teacher is the source of knowledge, just knowledge and facts. He's going to talk and talk and talk, okay, while his students or learners are going to sleep and sleep and sleep. That's the way. And there is a symbol for direct teaching. From this picture, when you look at this picture I show, what's the first word comes to your mind?
Isolation.
Isolation, yeah. What else?
Boredom.
Yes, boredom.
Individuality.
Yes. And what about the cage? You know, their heads are inside the cage. Their heads, only heads.
Yeah.
Okay, it is very symbolic, but it's real. When the teacher talks too much in the lesson and considers himself as the only source of knowledge, you see his learners go away. by minds only. Okay, of course, not by body. So you will have their bodies in front of you, but not their minds, not their heads. And one more else, one more thing. Um, when you teach your students in a direct way, you suppose that you have the model, or you have only the model, and you give them the model, and they have to follow that model. They are not allowed to go beyond. They are not allowed to walk beyond the borders. They are going to be shot. Okay? So the teacher must be aware of that. If he wants the learners' bodies, or if he wants the learners' minds. So minds inside cages refers really to the borders the teacher has made to his learners. In fact, he destroys their minds. And one more thing, why does the teacher think that he knows more than his students, or he thinks the right way for his students? This is really wrong. Students can go beyond and can go over the expectations of the teachers themselves. So this is the student, another picture for a student who really suffers. I think he has a headache from the information he carries, not only in his head, but on his back as well. It's really boredom. It's really a real burden on his back. So this is the direct way of teaching. And I'll show you a symbol or a model lesson, and let's please let me to be a teacher, and you are my students for only seconds, okay? Okay, my good students, look at the picture. Look, repeat after me. This is my blue bike. This is my blue bike. Repeat.
This is my blue bike.
This is
Mahdi,
blue bike.
Ashraf, Al-Amin.
This is my blue bike.
This is my
Thank
blue
you.
bike.
Thank
Ibrahim
you.
with you. Ibrahim with you, Mr. Ashraf.
Mr. Ghazawi, repeat please.
Yes, yes. Again.
Yeah.
This is
Welcome,
my
welcome,
this is
Mr. Ibrahim.
my blue bike.
This is my blue bike.
Okay, and this is the direct way of teaching. When a teacher shows his
Yes,
friend,
exactly.
his student, a thing, and puts his stamp, okay, and puts that stamp, that acclaché, as we name it. And please don't go out from that acclaché.
Yes.
Please follow it. And then he tries to be mechanically repeated himself. He wants his students to just repeat, to be a mechanic, okay? Mechanically repeat, yeah, mechanical drilling, and that's it. And he changes the picture to another picture. Okay, another way of teaching. Okay, let me be your teacher again. I show this picture and keep silent. What do you expect? When a teacher...
I'm sorry, Mr. Ashraf, for interrupting.
Yes.
The mechanical drill that you
Yes.
are mentioned.
Yes.
Unfortunately, some teachers still follow up to now.
Yes.
Muhammad, Faz,
Yes.
repeat
Yes.
after me. I attended many lessons, and really, what you have said is crystal clear. Yes, thank you.
Even online lessons.
Yes, online lessons. You are
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
That-
Go
that-
ahead.
Mr. Oscar, but sometimes we need it with
Of course,
first
you need it.
grader.
But
But-
to a limit.
Yes.
Not
I don't
all
want to
times,
the
I know,
mood
but
of the
sometimes
oldest
you need
Mr.
it.
What Mr. Ghazawi means, it must be for a purpose.
Yes, it's for a purpose. From A to
Yes.
Z.
Yes.
What can you see? What can you hear?
Yeah,
What can
yeah.
you see? What can
Yeah,
you? That's
yeah.
it.
Not all the time, yeah.
Not all. It's
Okay.
you know. This is his
Yeah.
wave. Okay.
In just
thank you.
a few
This-
uncertain situations only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is one
I
thing.
hope your presentation is recorded, Mr. Ashraf, to be
Thank
a
you.
Yeah,
reference
it's
for
recorded
everyone.
from the
Mr.
beginning.
Mr.
Yeah,
Kamal.
I recorded
Appreciate,
from the
Mr. Ashraf.
beginning.
Appreciate.
Thank
I,
you.
I was just afraid it's not recording. That's why I asked Mr. Mohammed Amin to make sure, but we found that the recording is working well.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You are welcome. Okay. Anyway, when in another kind of presentation and using another method, when a teacher shows his students a pictures and keeps silent, what do you expect from your students? Do they still keep silent, or they react to the picture? Pay attention. The teacher showed his students this picture and kept silent. What's the reaction from students? You are my students, and I showed you this picture. Give me your reaction.
We are thinking about the picture.
Okay, of course, young learners will say words. They will not ask you, what do you mean by showing us this picture? Am I right? I told you, you are now my students.
What's this, teacher?
What's this? Yeah. What else? Okay, I will mention some of my students' reactions. Okay, bicycle, blue, big, small, my bicycle, and so on. In this way, you generated a lot of language, and you made the language in usage. Students used the language or some of the language you want to teach. Yani, your students will say some words and you are going to write these words, okay?
And in
yes,
higher levels, Mr. Ashraf, they can go beyond this. They can talk about shapes, circles, straight lines, curved lines, and something like that.
You are right, Mr. Kilani. It's according to the students. You show the picture to their age. And when I remember when I showed third secondary graders, a picture of a rose, they said love, not just a flower or red, okay? And they started to talk about their feelings, not just vocabulary, not just the surface words. They went deeper to describe their feelings when they see the rose, okay? Anyway, so they will say a lot of words. Maybe one of them will say big or small, blue or light blue, of course, bicycle and my. Okay, I am going to order what they said after writing it on the board. Just writing on the board what they said. And I am going to form the sentence in the right way on my fingers and help my students to get the right sentence. Okay, I will tell you my experience and what happened from one class in third graders maybe 11 years ago. They really went beyond the aims of the lesson. The aim of my lesson is to teach, this is my blue bike. And they inserted big in the sentence. So, in fact, I found myself in front of 3 adjectives before the noun. It's not easy ordering the adjectives, ordering different adjectives in front of a noun. So students should start with the adjective, the possessive adjective first, then the size, then the color, okay? And this is the right order of the adjectives in front of the noun from the sentence they got on the board.
Excuse me, Mr. Ashraf.
Yes.
I appreciate your presentation so much, and really, I'd like to tell you, you are the teacher and we are your students, okay?
Yes, yes.
The presentation will be spread out, okay, to the female section and male section.
Okay.
So we need these sessions and these workshops really to be, to be for all and to be a reference for everyone. I appreciate your presence. You can ask us any question. I'm your student in your classroom now, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay. So when as students, when you find this is my big blue bike, can you see it again? My big blue bike.
My big blue bike.
Okay, some students.
Only me and Mr. Ashraf with you?
No, Mr. Kilani, Mr. Amin, Mr. Kholi.
We need all of us to share with you as students.
In fact, they share.
Please.
Okay.
Also here, I would like to
يعني
hear it from
don't
Mr.
feel shameful
Fish.
to be a student. Never all to learn. Never all to learn. Okay.
Okay, so when you're students, first I will help you to form a sentence, okay, as learners, in a way that shows the students' minds. Okay, I will show you this and keep silent. What are your words? Give me a word.
Kite.
A kite.
What
A red
else?
kite. A red kite.
Yes, yes. What else?
Fly.
Yes,
I fly a kite.
yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Red
I
and
think.
blue.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
What about the?
I like to fly kites like that.
Very good. What about sky?
Yeah, the blue sky. Yes.
Very good.
Blue sky.
Do,
It's
do, you-
clear.
do you have a kite?
I don't have a kite. Yeah, but when I was young, I used to have a kite.
Yes. This is really indirect. When you elicit, okay, now you are teachers. Let's analyze step by step. Okay. What did the teacher do? Did he start using words? Did he give any words to his students? What happened from the side of the teacher, and what was the reaction from the students?
He makes students generate the language they are going to use or produce.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
the teacher is just like a guide. He just provides the suitable environment and give the microphone or give the chance to the students to create, to generate, to use language.
How many words did he get? How much vocabulary did he get?
More than 1,000 words.
More than what he expects, more than what he wants to teach, what he wants to introduce. Okay, to my surprise, students give me more than that. To my surprise, they give me dark blue, light dark red, light red, strings, big red, kite, and so on. So my sentence was my red kite. That's it. My red kite. And they inserted the size. Someone said big. So I didn't neglect what my students produced. No, though it's not in the textbook. The teacher in this way, as Mr. Ghazzawi said, is just a facilitator. And he only elicited the language that his students used or normally in their minds, but they do not use a lot. Okay, what happened when a student talked? What happened to the other students? They
are motivated.
صح عليك. They are motivated and they listened to what their students, their friends said. Believe me, when a student learns from another student, it's more effective than a student learns from his teacher. When a student hears and listens to what his friend says, it is more effective and goes directly to the deep mind and to the long-term memory. Okay, so this is really indirect. It takes time, it takes effort from the student. Okay, let's complete. So, my big red, the color, kite. My big red kite. 4 words. Repeat, please.
My
red kite.
Okay.
My red kite. Yes.
Mr. Ghazzawi said, my red kite.
Yes.
I will go back to him. My red kite. Very good.
Yes.
What about this word, the missing word? My red kite. Excellent. What about the missing one? Okay, your friends will not wait for you. They will say it. All the class will say big to their friends. So you see, you notice the correction from where came the correction? From the teacher?
No, students.
Okay, so it's really a chance to get the student attention that he's missing a word. Then reflecting the question to his students, to his peers, P-E-E-R-S, to his peers, and his peers are going to correct him, not the teacher.
Peer
So
coaching.
excellent, my good friend, Mr. Ghazawi.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's first giving a chance to the student, then asking his peers help to correct him, then giving a chance again for the group he works in. Okay, then it's the last resort. The teacher is the last resort.
Yes.
When there is a leak, when there is a lack, and I mean it, a leak or a lack. Leak of interest, a leak of interest when students do not pay attention to you, and a lack of knowledge that your students need. They need to hear that word from you, okay? So in this way, you have to interfere. You have to say the word. But you know in which step? In the last step. One of my one of my peers attended a lesson with me. At the end of the lesson, he told me, okay, how hard is your lesson? How difficult, how much effort you paid in this lesson? You would make it easier for yourself. I told him how. He told me, just give him a sentence. That's it. Don't wait from your students. They know nothing about English. You are the English teacher. Give them English. I told him, okay, but what about their minds? You do not respect their minds. And pay attention to the word respect. Mind respect. Your learners respect. I don't mean that the teacher, the student should respect his teacher. No, I mean the teacher should respect his learners' minds. Okay,
So
and yes.
So can I make from this picture just only like differentiation instructions? What can you see? This is for a below level. And another question for those who are on level, I can make it, with a higher level, and so on.
Of course.
Yes.
When students, you are talking about differences between students.
Of course, yes.
Backward students may share in the sentence. They are not asked to form the whole sentence. Okay, you are with me? Students in the indirect teaching learn cooperatively and coordinately, because they all share in one sentence. So a shy boy may share with the words. For example, when you do like this, he may without permission. Allow him. He will speak in the crowd. He will produce in the crowd. Shy students like to produce inside their crew, not individually. They do not like to appear individually and stand up to answer. No, they do not like that. And please do not disturb your students in this way. Okay, I do not want to ask students by names to answer a question. First, ask the question. Okay, then see their faces, and you see and you know more than me that there is a communication, facial expressions. The teacher, the good teacher, should notice his students' facial expressions. Do they answer you? Do they connect with you in the lesson? Are they shy? Are they afraid to answer or to produce the answer? Okay, shy students mainly like to answer in their desks, hidden answers. They will say the word, they produce the word with others. Okay, so it's a chance to make them produce. Okay, I showed this picture, and I am going to show it again, the teacher directed and the learner directed way, and I am going to talk a problem in our schools. What is the shape of your class? Really, please. What's the shape of your class, Mr. Mahdi? In lines, in horseshoe, in what shape?
Groups.
Groups, circles.
Yeah. Yes.
Or squares.
Squares.
Yeah, I remember your class was in groups, square groups. I think
Yeah.
4 students or
Yes,
6
and sometimes
students.
they make it U shape.
Yeah, of course.
It depends on the activity
Yes,
or
of
the
course.
lesson.
I saw
And
you many
sometimes,
times.
I remove all the desks or
Yeah,
put
I
them
saw it.
aside.
I remember you sitting on the floor with your students.
Yes.
They were around you and you were playing with them, spin the bottle if I am
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that. They were really happy in your lesson. When your student is happy in the lesson, he will produce. When he is relaxed, he will produce. When he is not afraid, he will produce. When you ask him to produce in groups or in teams, he will produce. Okay. Anyway, um, fortunately, in our layer section, Mr. Ghazawi, we have English classrooms. Each teacher has his own room, so we are free to shape the desks and the seats in the way we like and in the way we can get production and we can get teamwork and group work in our classrooms. That's really good.
This is to assure your point of view. By the way, not only giving them a picture, you can ask them to draw a picture according to the abilities of your students. Some of them are very skillful in drawing, and they can draw. You can give them flashcards with pictures, and you ask them to write what the finger word, the way you are saying about, talking about.
Yes, you're
Exactly.
right.
Yes. To involve all your students in the task that you would like to give them. Yes.
Okay, another method of teaching. Okay, please be my learners for seconds. Okay, students, look at this picture. It's a green tree. Repeat, it's a green tree. Repeat, it's a green tree. Now
It's a
give
green
me,
tree, yes.
now give me something green. It is a green what? It's a green.
It's
Apple.
A green apple. Very good. What else? It's a
yeah.
green.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a
Muhammad.
green
Give me.
ball.
Muhammad. Yes, Muhammad. Give me a sentence. It's a green.
Who is
Yes.
Green
Muhammad?
frog.
Mahdi. It's a green frog.
Yes.
Mahdi.
It's a green desk.
It's a green desk. Kilani.
Green leaves.
Very good. Ghazawi.
It's a green desk.
Very good. Okay. What did the teacher do from the beginning? Now let's analyze what the teacher did inside this classroom. First of all, let me ask you, is it a teacher-centered classroom or student-centered classroom?
No,
in your opinion,
student-centered.
Student-centered.
this is student-centered. Who gave the first expression, the first sentence? The learner or the student? The teacher or the learner?
The teacher.
The teacher. So the teacher started his. Did he do any kind of eliciting?
Of course, many times.
Eliciting from the beginning.
Yeah. He asked students to give eliciting. Yeah.
Okay, in fact, what the teacher did here is that mixing between the direct and indirect, okay? And this happens rarely in classrooms that have the low levels, as Mr. Ghazawi mentioned, when you expect that you cannot get more from your students, okay? And you know that you teach 5 classrooms, you know, you have 4 good classrooms and 1 weak classroom. We all have this kind of classrooms. Okay.
We have mixed abilities, the students in our classes, Mr. Ash.
Yes, of course. Anyway, the teacher started from his mind. He didn't, first of all, he didn't know what's in his learners' minds. He gave them the sentence and obliged his students to say the same sentence. What happened here is only a meaningful repetition, a kind of repetition called a substitutional repetition. Substitutional drilling, to substitute or exchange only a word from the sentence, and it's the famous word that they know, the noun, the last noun.
Mechanical
Okay.
way, yes.
In a mechanical way, of course.
No dynamic, yeah.
All the drilling types are based on the mechanical way. Yes, you are right. They repeat. They only changed one word. But did you allow your students to form more than your sentence? To insert one word more in your sentence? No. No. You gave them a stamp, only a stamp. Okay. Of course, you made a big fault. You asked them by name. Muhammad, give me your sentence. So if Muhammad is a shy student and doesn't know the sentence, what's the solution? He will keep silent, or maybe he says something wrong and makes his students, his friends or classmates laugh at him. And this is another catastrophe in our classroom and the teacher's performance inside the classroom. We said before, the teacher must be very considerate, very considerate to his students' feelings, especially younger ones. Okay, I am afraid that I took more than my time. Mr. Kilani?
No, feel free, Mr. Ashraf. Take your time, no problem.
Okay, thank you. So I tried here to show a third kind of performance inside your classroom. So there is a direct teaching, and this is really not allowed in the modern ways of teaching, especially online teaching. Online teaching, you say, as you said, Mr. Ghazawi heard a lot of noise from the teacher. I call it noise. When a teacher calls Muhammad, جملتك, Ali, فين? In this way, you are calling in something lost.
You're right.
Not.
Most Muhammad, and by the way, most Muhammad and Ali are behind level. They are not sharing. Okay, this is the point.
Yeah. Okay, so I told you it's a catastrophe in the teacher's performance to call on something lost, and he will not find it, of course. He will not find it. He calls in vain, just he will make his throat weak or get something bad. Anyway, so I told you before that when I show my students something, I have to elicit and I have to know first how much language he has from the language I am going to produce. So you are here in the classroom to increase and to build on what your students have, not to sit up from the beginning. So there is a proverb or something like that, I don't remember exactly, says that your student is a black sheet, or your students' minds are black sheets. No, they are not. Sorry, they are white sheets. White. With young learners, they say white sheets. In secondary schools, they say black sheets. Blank, white. Yes, you are right. They are blank. They are not blank. They are not white. I will show you. Okay, talking about what's in your students' minds, I will show you a part of the lesson to my students, and I want you here to listen to what my students said. I was talking about the Toastmaster competition. Are you me, Mr. Ghazawi? Okay, anyway, I was talking about the Toastmaster competition and how my students should share in this competition, and they have to record a video in such specifications I showed to them. It must be a 2-minute video at least, and you have to talk about the topics you like, such as your favorite food, your favorite game, your favorite play, your favorite drink, what you like, your pet, and your sport, your dad, your mom, your house, your garden, the park you play in, your favorite friend, and I give him a ton of topics they talk about. I didn't expect that one of my students will talk about this topic which I do not know about. Okay, please listen. Select, did you choose your topic you are going to talk about in the video?
Yes, I'm gonna talk about bugs and my job.
Bugs.
Yes, I know a lot about them. Plus, if you know all about them, they can be kind of creepy.
Yeah, so you know a lot about bugs. Can you tell us more about, can you talk about 1 minute only for you, me and for your classmates about bugs now?
Sure. Oh, sure, I can talk to you about one bug.
Okay.
You know the beetle?
Yes, of course, the black one.
It has 2 teeth, but the elephant beetle there's actually 4 kinds of beetles. The normal beetle, the elephant beetle, and the devil and the demon beetle, and wait, what's the second one? The double beetle.
Oh, how good. Okay, did you listen to my student?
Yeah.
Okay, what was his topic about?
Bugs.
Bugs.
Yeah, strange topic, by the way.
Yeah, anyway, from his speaking, he knows more about bugs and beetles. I don't know the dragon beetles and the elephant beetles. I don't know the kinds of beetles anyway. But this boy is really interested in beetles.
Right.
To the extent that he knows the kinds of different beetles, and he can describe them more than anyone else. He talks like a scientist. He can describe their teeth.
Yes.
He can talk about their shapes. By the way, Mr. Ghazawi, this is Khalid Magarri. You remember?
Oh, I witness that you have, beyond level. You have talents in your classroom. Yes.
With this kind of students, you should be very aware. You should give them, you should give them more. Otherwise, they will not react with you. They
By
will
the way,
not.
yeah,
Yes,
this is
yes.
to share it with the whole staff here of our colleagues that really you have some students. Okay, not all teachers can go along with their minds. Believe me, I had
Yes.
to talk with them, and really you should be aware. You should be a talent teacher to teach talent students. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. What I want to show here that that boy and another about 4 students like him in this class, like natives. They do not want you to oblige them on a certain subject or a topic to talk about. And I give him the freedom to talk about his topic or his beetles and the kinds of their beetles. And in fact, he will share in the Toastmasters with this topic, the beetles.
Mr. Ashraf, Mr.
Yes.
Sukari now say I can find the link. If Mr. Ashraf
Alayan.
Kilani, Mr. Kilani,
I
yes, can handle please and send him the link.
I sent the links from the
What
beginning.
about, I see here Mr. Al-Amin, Mr. Ashraf, Mr. Al-Ashqar, Mr. Al-Kilani, Mr. Al-Amin. And really what you are doing now is a university work. Really, I mean, it's not easy. I need all of us to be attached with you. Okay. Mr.
Okay. Okay, may I go on?
Yes, please.
Okay, thanks. This is what I am going to talk about. This is what I meant by respecting your students' minds. Their minds are full. They are not white. They are not blank. They have a lot of knowledge. Some of them can produce and can show you what's in their minds because they have the tool. They have the language. They can speak and they can express themselves. Others have the same knowledge, but in Arabic, they cannot express themselves. And I will repeat it again, it is a merit for bilingual students to use their language, the Arabic language, in English, in teaching English to young learners. Okay, so I don't say that you will teach in Arabic. I don't say that, but you may resort to use your native language to get your students involved, because it's my aim to involve my students in the lesson. So to sum up what we said, there is a role of the teacher inside the direct way. His role is to direct words and instructions, and it's very clear from his direct instructions. Direct classroom, direct instructions. It's connected. When you say to your learner, answer, it's your turn, give me, stand, go, and you give him real hard instructions. In direct classrooms, in direct teaching, you are just a facilitator. As Mr. Ghazawi said, you are a helper. Try to help your students to get what they need only, not giving them all what you need. They need what they like. Okay, so satisfying your students' needs is really important in any stage. And I showed you, please avoid that picture in front of you. Avoid to get your students inside cages. You will get their bodies, but not their minds. Your work will be in vain. Believe me, when you talk and talk and talk, no one will listen and listen and listen. They will neglect you. Okay, and of course they have their own interests. Some people, if you focus on the picture, some people are sleepy. That learner in the red t-shirt is sleeping. The girl is playing with a toy game or electronic game. Okay, someone else in the
Game Boy.
Yeah, Game Boy, and the one at the back is holding his mobile phone. And of course, no one is listening. No one is paying attention to you. Do you know why? Because you thought that you are the only source of knowledge and your students are blank pages and they know nothing. Okay? I hope I didn't speak too much. I hope I wasn't in direct. Thank you for your cooperation, and thank you. This is my time. Thanks a lot.
Would
Thank
like
you,
to thank
Mr. Ashraf.
And
Dr.
forgive me for not showing the PowerPoint show, because really I am not good at reading, but I can speak. Thank you.